Alright, here are my thoughts on Jack and the Witch. So this is another Toei movie. It was actually released the exact same day as Cyborg 009 Monster Wars. I guess nothing much to add to that, but anyway, the story is we have a young boy named Jack who has he has this toy car and a bunch of talking animal sidekicks because of course it's Toei. Let's see. Then while he's driving in his toy car with his animal sidekicks, he sees this weird-looking girl in a little pedal helicopter or something, and she challenges him to a race and easily wins, and then she offers him a ride in her helicopter thingy, and she flies him to this strange land where, basically she kidnapped him, and turns out she works for this evil witch. So the beginning of the movie has this stained glass storytelling opener, and I think in the original Japanese version, because I watched the English dub of this film, but I think in the original Japanese dub there was a narration, but here they kind of made an interesting decision by just showing the pictures and kind of you kind of figure out the story on your own. I mean, it's a basic story. I think it's supposed to be the story of Beowulf. But yeah, it's a simple story otherwise. Knight defeats this evil witch who turns into a dragon. But since it's supposed to be Beowulf, I think she is supposed to be, the witch from Beowulf. Anyway, otherwise I guess that if you watch the English dub, that opening doesn't seem to connect much. But anyway, So basically she turns a bunch of she kidnaps a bunch of kids and then turns them into evil servants called harpies, even though that's not generally what the name harpy is known as, but whatever. So yeah, these harpies, they take Jack hostage along with one of his talking animal sidekicks, a talking mouse. I'm guessing in the Japanese dub, this is the character that has the squeaky voice, because there's always at least one of them in every movie. Every Toei movie, I mean. He is called Squeaker in this dub. It only makes sense, he's a mouse. Anyway, they turn him into a harpy, as they call them. The Jack manages to escape. So, the witch who kidnapped, the girl who kidnapped him in the first place, what's her name, Allegra, and her, I'm not sure if they mentioned it at all in the English dub, but in the original Japanese dub, it's her younger brother, and his name is Harvey, at least in the English dub, even though they don't seem to bring up that he's her brother, the way they interact, you can kind of tell he might be her brother. That's kind of what I figured while I was watching the two interact. But So yeah, Allegra and Harvey go after Jack, and because, you know, it is worth pointing out, so there's this YouTuber named, I think you pronounce it Stevim or something. Sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong, but yeah, he's got like a series called Toei Month. And yeah, he reviews like most of the Toei movies, at least from the early years, because like he skips certain ones, like he apparently didn't review either of the Cyborg 009 movies because, I don't know, I guess it's debatable if either of those can be counted as like, I would like to clarify that I'm not planning to like review every single anime, like even the theatrical anime films that are based on like series. Yeah, I just don't know if they're official enough, and if I watch every single one of them, this is going to take forever. And I mean, there are the OVAs, as they call them, but they're released straight to, you know, home. Yeah, they're given a straight home release, but yeah, it's kind of debatable with the 009 movies. But yeah, in his review of this movie, he hold on. Yeah, in his review of this movie, he says that he doesn't really, or they don't really explain much why, you know, the Harpies, as they're called, are so determined to capture Jack. And watching this, it's actually kind of simple. I think the reasoning is simple enough, because they work for a witch, and the witch punishes those who fail her, and and I guess the witch's motivation is she just intends to capture every kid. You know, she's just that determined to bring her plans into fruition. But yeah, obviously the reason why Allegra is so determined to capture Jack is because if she doesn't, then she failed. What's the witch's name again? Ariana in this one, although her name is Grendel in the Japanese version because she's supposed to be the witch from Beowulf again. So yeah, if Allegra fails Ariana, then she gets punished. She'll be sent to the prison of eternal ice or something. You know, she'll be frozen for eternity or whatever. So yeah, she has to capture Jack. He evades her for a while, and at one point she like gets knocked out trying to capture him, and you know, he decides to help her recover. And you know, for a moment she seems grateful, but then, you know, she just kind of runs off. And yeah, I do like Allegra. She's like a very, you know, they do play a pretty complex story arc with her, and yeah, she's definitely the best character in this movie. Also, her design is adorable. Like, yeah, I just love, like, she's got the pointy ears, little cat eyes, cute little fangs. She's such a cute little scary witch. But yeah, so yeah, soon Jack decides that he wants to rescue his Squeaker, you know, save him from, change him back to normal and save him. And so yeah, they sneak into the castle. They don't really have much of a transition. They don't show him like coming to the decision that he needs to break into the castle. They just cut to a scene at the castle, and and then suddenly he and the other animals are just storming it, and yeah. But they at least explain at some point why they suddenly decide to go back to the castle. So yeah, along the way, they meet Allegra, and she manipulates them to go with her, and she says she'll help them, but then she traps them, and they gotta escape this surreal, they're like in this fake meadow thing where there's all these, like, it seems like literally everything wants to eat them, and they're all like debating whether they should, how they're gonna cook them or whatever, like, there's all these bugs, flowers, mushrooms, etc. And they're like, oh, let's fry them. Pretty soon most of them kind of just settle on, oh, let's barbecue them. And yeah, I do. I like that scene, and it is kind of intense. I mean, I can imagine what it would be like to, be trapped in a world like that where everything's trying to eat you. That sounds kind of freaky. Let's see. So yeah, they escape the place, and then let's see what happens next. Allegra almost has Jack changed into a harpy. Like, they have a machine that changes kids into harpies. And yeah, she almost has Jack, but he escapes again because one of his animal sidekicks, the bear, stops the windmill and destroys the machine, or it like sucks in a bunch of the other harpies, and then it destroys the machine. And yeah, then the witch comes in and punishes Allegra by sending her to the ice place, and then we see Jack meets with her brother, and he tells him that she's trapped in the ice place, the ice prison, and then he decides to go and save her. And so he goes down there, and he like breaks the ice. He gets really determined to save her, and then he ends up getting like buried, and I think he like drowns or something, and Allegra's free, and then she sees him, and she thinks he might be dead, and she's like, oh, you saved me, you risked your life, blah blah blah. And we get the little animated movie cliche scene where the character thinks the other character's dead, but then they're alive, and and she's really happy, and even though they only build them up as friends in this movie, they do kind of make a cute couple. Then this monster attacks them, and then the witch comes in. Like, they don't really defeat the monster, but though it just kind of stops attacking them, and then the witch comes in, and they gotta fight her, and she's like super powerful. And meanwhile, the other animal sidekicks are trapped. The mouse is like taunting them with the crystal ball. They're trying to watch the fight going on between Jack, the witch, Allegra, etc. It's playing on the crystal ball, and the mouse covers it up. And the other animals manage to, or what happens is like the mouse just breaks the crystal ball on purpose to keep the other animals from seeing anything, but in the process he ends up destroying the witch's magic powers, etc. By breaking the crystal ball, she loses her power, and she changes into this ugly goblin creature. This is kind of an interesting case. Usually when, like, the scary witch or whatever character, like, transforms into this ugly creature, they usually become more powerful, but in this case, she just turns, really weak. So yeah, she's powerless, but they chase her around, but she's still able to pull, like, trickery and stuff on them. So yeah, it's kind of an interesting little twist. But yeah, they chase her. She tries to destroy him with a bomb while she escapes in, like, a hot air balloon. But then they, like, get the bomb. They attach the bomb to the balloon. I think it was, if I remember correctly, it was an accident. But yeah, she ends up getting blown up by the bomb, and then they also blow up the castle. And with this, her spell is lifted. All of the harpies turn back into kids, including Allegra and her brother. And, Jack returns home with her, and they live happily ever after. So yeah, I like this movie. It was cute. I don't think it's quite as deep as. Honestly, it doesn't have quite as much out to offer as some of the other Toei movies. But you know what? Yeah, I still think there's a fair bit to enjoy in this one, and So, is there any other facts to? Well, let me see. Since I watched the English dub, so first of all, because this was the English dub, like, all of the voice act. Like, this is an English dub of an anime in the 60s, so therefore the voice acting is very Speed Racer. Like, everyone's all talking like, blah, 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 we gotta stop the witch, and blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, it's kind of funny, though. But speaking of Speed Racer, the lady who did, like, pretty much all of the female/child voices in Speed Racer is the voice of Allegra, so that's kind of an interesting. And then Jack, when I listened to his voice at first, I was thinking it might be the same guy who voiced Alakazam and Alakazam the Great, and that's yeah, I know that guy's not the same as the one who voiced Speed Racer, but yeah, I was wondering if it was either the voice of Speed Racer or Alakazam, but no, it's neither of them. It's actually the guy who voiced the main character from The Dark Crystal, so yeah, kind of interesting. That movie comes out, 15 years after this one. By the way, I am not planning to review that or any other movie that's mainly puppets, because, I don't really consider puppetry to be, like, animation. It's, like, got similar charm and elements as animation, but, I think what really qualifies as animation, well, I don't know, I just think it's a little too different. It's I kind of consider it live action, but with, like, it's complicated, but yeah, I'm not planning to review any puppet movies. But yeah, is there anything else to say? It's pretty simple. There's not a whole lot to add. There's not. I don't have a whole lot to say, but that's usually a good sign for these animated films, because the ones that I have the most to talk about are the ones with the most problems, and they can still be good regardless of their problems. But yeah, I think there's very little to criticize about this film. It's simple, and there's not a whole lot to it, but at the same time, it's a very charming little film with again, very little to criticize. So yeah, my rating for this movie is somewhere between 7 and 8. I'm not sure if I like it quite as much as, say, Alakazam or Magic Boy, but I still enjoyed it, and I might give it a 7, but it's a fairly high 7. So yeah, it's I just liked it, and if you're interested, if you're a fan of Toei, blah blah blah, definitely give this one a watch. It's worth your time, I think. Is there anything else to add before I stop? I'll just turn to the comments as usual. So yeah. I guess that's all there is to say in this video. Mash it and smash it, signing off.